Hello and welcome to Press Start Pixel Art. I am so very excited for today's video. This is my first YouTube creation ever. I'm so excited to start this journey and see where it will take me, but more importantly, I'm excited to see how you as a viewer will respond. I'll leave out why I started the channel and the goals I have for it for an upcoming video, so watch out for that. Reminder, I'm just a high school kid that has no idea what I'm doing. I'm just here to have fun and make some cool pixel art. So let's get right into it. We'll fire up Sprite and create a canvas with 128 by 72 pixel size. The significance of this random size is that it's a 16 by 9 pixel aspect ratio. This is the same size as most videos you will see on YouTube, and will see in my videos. We'll keep it on RGBA color mode with a transparent background. There are lots of tools you can make pixel art with, but I choose a software called Sprite, and I absolutely love it. Next up, we're going to grab our color palette by going to Load Palette and selecting our 1-bit palette that consists of just two colors, not quite black and not quite white. I'm always going to try to give credit where credit is due. I found this palette for 1-bit pixel art on a website called lospec that's a great tool for finding pixel art color palettes. I either make my own palettes, or for a particular style, I like to go to this website and it helps me out a ton. For this piece, I'm using the 1-bit monitor glow palette. Now we'll finally get drawing. I'll draw a line down the center with the curvy line tool. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Fill in one side with the darker color and the other with the lighter color. Now that everything's set up, here comes the fun part. I'm going to start drawing a head, and I'm going to try to make it as close to the reference as possible, but as if it was viewed from the back. Next, I'm going to draw the arms, the body, and most importantly, the hands. I've never taken a real art class, so I have no idea what human proportions look like. I'm just trying to make it look good. His hands kind of look like guns right now, which I think is kind of funny. It looks like he's in a old western showdown, pointing them at two different people. Now is probably a good time for me to explain what I'm actually drawing. The original idea was a piano player with him on the right side with a different version of him on the left side. I'm also doing stylistic choices by erasing some of the lines. Now, your brain actually connects the lines even if they're not connected in real life, which I find is really interesting and really cool effect in pixel art. Now I'm adding keys to the piano and adding some nice sheet music along with a frame. Gotta get that floof of hair just right. Today I am doing a drawing in the 1-bit pixel art style. You've probably heard of 8-bit, and you might have even heard of 16-bit, but you might not have heard of 1-bit. 1-bit means you're working with two color values, a lighter color, normally white or close to white, and a dark color, normally black or close to black. Pong is an example of a 1-bit pixel art game. The more I drew, I realized this actually sort of looks more like a pipe organ than the upright piano I was going for, so we changed directions to that. When doing a drawing, especially in pixel art, if you don't have a set plan going into the piece, I think it's okay to change directions halfway through, especially if the new direction actually sounds better than the previous one. Thinking of ways to change your drawing during the process can help a lot towards the end result. Now we're going to attempt to do something that I have never tried before. We're going to start by putting our piano organ man in the middle of the two colors. Next, we need to add the thing that all pipe organs need, pipes. Obviously, these don't look like real pipe organ pipes, but it is kind of fun to mess around with and give it the kind of cartoony look I'm going for. One trick I use here is I want it to be symmetrical to start. So I'm going to copy one side of the pipes and then just paste it over to the other side, and then clicking negative on this value right here, which is going to just flip it in perspective. From the beginning of this drawing, I had one other idea in mind. I wanted to create an effect where I had one sprite in the middle with two opposing backgrounds, and the sprite would actually change colors based on which background was behind it. I'm not sure if I can make this work, but this was the idea I had going in. Spoiler alert, guys, I made it work. But it took a long time to get to that point. We need to draw a line along the axis of our original line. Then we can start coloring the left side here the darker color because it's along the lighter background. The next part here can get really long and tedious, so I'm just going to show you one highlight. I've seriously just had Phantom of the Opera stuck in my head the entire time while I've been drawing this, just the bum, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum. Now, of course, I could just use the fill tool here, but I think it's actually more fun to draw it in yourself sometimes. Now we have to add the all-important words, press start. I'm just trying to make these pipes look like they came straight out of a cartoon, not as much a realism effect here. We're also adding a drip, like a paint drip effect here by this head. Now we're going to add some flags on the walls as if this was some sort of medieval place that he's playing this organ in. And we're going to animate them. This is the scariest part for me. I'm not a great animator yet, but I'm so excited to keep working on it. To make sure these pipes really stand out, we're going to fix some of the basic line work. For these waving flags, I'm just using keyframe copy and paste animation style, and I'm just trying to make them look good. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing. Animation is probably the biggest thing that I'm very hesitant about sharing to the world. I'm really not very good at it yet, but probably the biggest reason I'm starting this channel is to get better at pixel art in general, and that includes animation styles. As you can see, I'm just doing a really quick 5-frame animation by doing 1, 2 is transition, 3 is stopping, and then 4 is the same transition as 2, and 5 is the same start as 1. That way it can repeat back onto itself. One of my favorite things to do in my drawings is to add little Easter eggs. And in this drawing, what we're going to do is we're going to make the left head blink. Screen recording the animation was a very long, tedious, and mostly boring job, so I decided not to include that in this video. Let's cut to the finished piece. Here is the finished piece. I actually really like it and think it looks pretty good. It's a bit noisy and you can tell, but I still think some of the stylistic choices look good, just maybe not all of them on the erasing the lines. He's got a sort of Two-Face thing going on here, and I actually think it looks pretty cool. The animation on the organ took me quite a long time to figure out, but we actually got it, and I think it looks pretty good. So that's piece number 1. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, seeing a little behind the scenes of how I created it. And I hope you guys enjoy the finished product and hope you guys come back for the next one. Thank you so much for watching.